Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'll tell you a story in 16 slides. And after the 16 slides, you will never be the same. And if everybody agrees with me, then it's a wrong motion. Because we need conflict. We need people that say, this is right, and even if it's only 20%, then we have to do it with these 20%, and the 80% I really don't care. Okay? So I'm aiming for this thing. This is the ban. The House believes, okay. You can see it over there also. The House believes that the ban on diplomas and degrees awarded by university, we should put a ban on it, because we are domesticating people. People are not people anymore. People are domesticated, and this is the problem. The reason for that is, schools were created in a time frame there was no information. It's the same like there is no water. What do you do in a village when there's no water? You dig a well, and everybody has to drink on the well. Who has the power? The guy who has the well. So what did we do when there was not enough information? We created schools. So we said to people, come to school, because that's where the place where you can learn. And that was 2D time frame. 2D will means flat, two-dimensional. Schools were born in a time frame of information shortage. Daniel, what did they do? We created schools with students listening to a teacher who was smarter than everybody in the classroom. And we had respect for these 2D teachers. We had respect because they were the smartest. They had the water. We went to school. My parents said to me, Chef, you have to go to school. Because if you don't go to school, you will be stupid your whole life. Get a degree, get a degree. So what we did is we created schools, and Jan is going to, and we created libraries of books. The whole schooling system was created around books. Now today it's e-books, but it's the same shit. It's only e-shit. But the thing is, we have, you remember what school is. You went to the first year on secondary school or high school, you had to learn all these books. They didn't ask you, do you have a passion and talent for a certain book? No, they said, you have to learn them all. Because if you don't learn all the books, you can't go to the next year. So we as a student, we studied all these books, and then we did an exam. And this is the thing. In 2D, you didn't get a diploma because of your talents and passion. No, you got a diploma because you passed 2D exams which you didn't have the passion or the talent. Otherwise, you couldn't go to the next year, because if you would have the passion and the talent in a certain area, you would be smarter than the teacher. And he didn't allow that, because then he couldn't ask questions he didn't know the answer for. He had to know the answers. So these are two. And then we went to work. And we went to work in a department, and we got a function description. Do you know what a function description is? It's a list of things you have to do. And then after a year, your manager told you, we have an appraisal talk. And then he said, that's okay, but that's not okay. And then you said to your manager, but that's not okay because I don't have the passion and talent. And then your manager said to you, do you think you're here to do what you like to do? No. So, and then he sends you to a course to learn things you didn't like to do. And then you keep the function. And this is this. In 2D, you don't keep a job. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is good. In 2D, you don't keep a job because of your talents. No, you keep a job because you do everything your boss tells you to do, even if it's not your passion and talents. And this is how the world was created before we became common sense. So, then we became sheep. Because they put a fence around us. We couldn't learn our passion and talents in schools because you had to study more about things you didn't like. We didn't have a job we liked with passion and talent. No, we had to do things we didn't like to do. So they said, no, this is your degree. You can't do anything than what the diploma you have. And you can't leave the department. So we became a sheep and we start, So now we have so many sheep in organizations that it's crazy. And then something happened. We became a lost generation. I'm 56. I know so many people who really won't like to do something else, but they are not allowed. They have to pay their house, they have to be a salary, they want to go on a pension. We have created a lost generation. In the 2D time frame, where nothing changed, you could live with this thing. You give people a diploma when they are 21, and then you box them up in a fence, and we could do it. Most of us weren't allowed to use their passion of talents. They were not allowed to learn. So what happens now? And I'm glad it's the second woman in the room. We became a sheep. No more. No more. Tear down these fences. Tear down these fences now. No more. Don't allow it anymore. So we're going to the next thing. Why? Because we have experienced one of the most dramatic changes in history. Do you know what the change is? Today, you don't have to go to a well where there is information. No, today we have internet, we have broadband, we can learn from everything else. We are experiencing a switch. You don't have to go to school anymore to learn. You can learn at home. But you know why you have to go to school? Because somebody says the information in school is better. It's not true. It's not true. It's just a teacher protecting his job. And then the teacher says, but at home you can't get a degree. That's right. You can't get a diploma at home, even if you had a passion and talent. So I tell them, that's the power you have. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take it away. I'm going to take away the power of diplomas, because we need something else. And that's this. And I'm glad Jay is the one, because he's the guy. We are in the third dimension. The twilight zone. And in the third dimension, there is an information luxury. Everybody can learn everything, and this amount of information is leading to very creative people who are creative and entrepreneurs, and the world is changing, and we need to adapt education and learning to this new area. So, and then we're coming to this thing. We need to be 3D smarts. In the 3D age, we don't need 2D diplomas that fence us in and make us a sheep. No, we need lifelong learning based on our passion and talents and unlimited access to information. If a manager today in an organization doesn't give unlimited access to information, whether a manager in an organization or a teacher, he is a bad manager. He's very bad. He's a bad teacher. You have to fire him. No more sheeping. We are free, we can learn any place, anytime. So this is what we have to become, 3D smart. So the next thing is, how do you become a 3D smart? How do you become the new employee? How do you become the new passionate talent? How do you become the smart, the 3D smart, the smart people in this 3D time frame? And I still have some minutes left, I think. Donald, it's going to be a piece of cake. They are already afraid to handle it. We have to become 3D smarts. What are 3D smarts? 3D smarts are people who know their talents. You know what a talent is? It's magic. Your parents were in love, and sometimes they say, geez, we're going to get a child. And this child was a mystic box, it's a black box, with talents in it. That's diversity. Everybody has their talents. So you have to know what your talents are. When I was hiring people at Siemens and people with a high degree with diploma, I asked them, what are your talents? They said, I don't know. And they had a degree. And they asked, why do you have a degree? Because I succeeded in something I didn't like to do. But they didn't know their talent. We have to create passion for that talent, passion and evolution. And then we have to give them access to information. And you know what happens when you have talented people who have passion for their talents and you get them information, they become 3D competent. Do you know what happens with people who have a talent but no passion for the talent? It's a waste. Their parents say, that's not why we made you. That's not why we made you. We made you because you have talent. Suppose you have people with a passion for something they don't have a talent. That's stupid. Do you know how many people are stupid? People with a degree. I'm so sorry. So because they learned something where they didn't have a talent for. And then we have access to information. And the next thing is, maybe we should stop with diplomas. Maybe we should start with a 3D smarts with a 3D competence playlist. Maybe stop talking about diplomas and say, hey Jeff, who are you? I'm Jeff. Show me your playlist. And say, these are my competences. I have a talent for that, a passion for that. That's the way I learn. And at 23, my playlist is like this, and it evolves, because when I was 31, I didn't want to be an engineer, I want to do this, so my playlist changes. And I will have a talk with you with passion, because what are my talents? What are my passion? How do I learn? How competent am I? And this is something that evolves your whole life. But stop talking about certification with people who, Jesus, stop it. So on the last slide is this one. This debate. You are not a sheep. Stop acting like one. Thank you.